Okay, we're back. This is Rob Bell getting the record straight, Black Rock and Soul segment. And we were on the phone with Ursula Rucker. She's still here. She hasn't gone anywhere. And Ursula just said she wanted to pick back up and talk about these police shootings over the past, I guess, month. So I'll turn it over to you, Ursula.
Well, thanks, Robert. No, you had mentioned the brother of mine, Aubrey from Georgia, and I'm pretty sure I had his name correct.
I think so. Yeah, I couldn't remember it, but
if not, I
Breonna Taylor.
It hits us in our heart so hard, too often. So many names to remember. So sad that there are so many names. And now I just heard about that sister that you also. I just saw the headline. I haven't even read anything about it. We're already. Yeah, go ahead.
No, in both instances, you have this dereliction of duty by the authorities. In the Georgia situation, Arbery situation, it actually occurred in February, if I'm not mistaken, and it's taken 2-3 months for it to. And then in this situation, the one in Kentucky with the young lady. That's been at least a couple of weeks, but like I said, her boyfriend has been arrested and charged with he didn't kill the cop, but shooting a police officer.
He didn't know what was going on. And he was I mean, I haven't read that, so I can't really, but I can surmise. Okay, we heard it before. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a recurring theme. Oh my goodness, that's so terrible. And
it's recurring. It's got a legacy, an evil legacy about it because we can go back.
That keeps me from not giving up because although recording poetry with music is enjoyable, and I said it's easy. It is easy, but it's work to assemble words, language, and music with intention and care,
no
and
question.
Trying to communicate something. So it's skill in there. But listen, sometimes I want to give up because being an artist is, that's the hard part. Living your life as an artist, and then if you're an activist too, forget about it.
Yeah.
You got to have some real heart. You got to build you got to get your feelings together. Because it's not for the faint of heart. And although these things, this brother getting murdered, this sister, this injustice, this absurd injustice. Keeps the fire, it keeps me not nope, okay, listen, I'm never going to shut up about this stuff. I'm never, ever. So when I get tired or, when I just want to stop doing this because it's so hard to keep it up. It's hard to follow your heart and get led by your heart all the time. It's not an easy thing, but in moments like this, I'm like, nah, this is why I'm here, though.
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm here. I can't deny it. It always pats me on my shoulder and reminds me when I try to deny it. No. This is part of your mission. Get back on the path and get your sword and your armor. Get yourself together and keep walking up on this path. And, that's that.
And the struggle is beautiful. It gets difficult, and you want to cast it aside from time to time. But my mission, I wrote a book, close to 15 years, 13 years ago, and many folks, you, Jessica, Wadu, bunch of people, I just dropped their names because I had an opportunity and privilege to see many folks and listen. And and it encouraged me, and that, and informed me that this thing isn't over. It looks difficult. The impediments are massive. We live in a corrupt world, corrupt country, but there's still this truth that keeps percolating. Keeps struggling to get out. And I've often heard from people who want to compare and decry this generation, and young folks who are still speaking up and saying that they're not as good as those who came before. They're not as creative, and I'm like, that ain't what's happening. It's the system. We can't hear you. We don't hear so many others who are putting great music, great poetry, are still struggling out there. And but the system, this capitalist kind of thing that's going on, and is even worse than the '70s. And when I was in college and listening to Gil Scott-Heron and the Last Poets and Earth, Wind and Fire and all that great stuff that you referenced earlier, it's not as easy to get exposure, and it's up to those of us who have a few platforms and ability to help get the word out. Hello?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, you were actually like talking about, like, it sounded like a poem. Pediments, all that whole speech right there, that sounded like a poem right there.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, we hey, I'm a Dr. John Henrik Clarke, and if the people don't know, and it's okay if you don't know, that's why I'm also here. We share with each other, right? We inform each other, we teach each other.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, one of my heroes, he's not walking the planet with us anymore, but his teachings will always resonate, and he believed in the power and promise of Black people as a nation, as a strong people, as the first people, and he believed in our potential, that we will meet it. We will, Robert. I believe in what Dr. John Henrik Clarke taught us, to believe in us, to believe in ourselves, to learn about ourselves so we can know ourselves, and thus we can act accordingly and hold each other up and press on. Yeah, because they mean to do us in, and I'm not having it.
Hey, let me ask you something. These things that are going on certainly didn't just start a couple months ago. As I said, there's a legacy of hate and criminality that's very closely, that's part of the ethos of this country. But you, unlike myself, and I'm assuming that you have traveled, you've performed, in other countries and what have you. What do you find when you have that opportunity to go elsewhere and speak the words and do the music? What are other people saying about this country and about its issues? Do you glean anything from them when you go abroad? I'm assuming you do or have.
Oh, what? That's my biggest, my biggest support. I mean, I wouldn't, touring abroad is, what got me here to talk to you. Anybody would care about what I'm doing if I had shared my stuff live overseas and whatnot. I've been to a lot of places. Thankfully, it has grown me as a human being. It grows me every time. It's a real learning experience, and they ask a lot of questions throughout the years. I mean, that's a power-packed question. Like it would take a half an hour just to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been so many years and so many things have happened, and I've been touring so long, and each time I go back, something else has happened here in America, you know.
But let me ask though quickly.
Let me finish.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And because I am, because of the things I talk about in my work, a lot of times I will get looked at as like someone to ask these questions to. Hey, what's going on in your country? Like, how are you living there? Like, what? I feel like we all have, every country has issues. But yeah, America is special. Yeah. But go ahead.
But is there a greater acceptance of your art, our art as African Americans, as Black people? Do you get that sense when you've gone abroad that there's a greater acceptance and desire to hear what you do and others from here do?
Yeah, I would say it's not just any particular culture, ethnicity in Europe and other places outside of America, Africa, Asia. There's just a higher love and appreciation for culture and art in general. So they're open to, more things. Yeah, they want it. They want it. I'm actually right now kind of sad right now. I'm like generally sad right now because I'm feeling all the pain and suffering on multi levels that's happening during this time in my soul. But I'm sad right now because I was supposed to be in Zurich, Switzerland for a month-long residency right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. I'm so heartbroken. It's going to be so amazing. I was going to be collaborating with my homie who's a poet and a MC and a beatboxer, Roland Yurchop from Zurich. We've been friends for like 13 years. And yeah, we're going to be collaborating, but we're still doing it. Thank God they're doing it virtually. But yeah, they're like, come on. This is like, it's called a Solo Turner Literary Festival, and they just get it. They get it. They want it. They get it. They understand like that there are so many different ways you can do this art thing. They want to know about all the ways. They want to support they want to hear it. They want to see it. They want to pay for it. It's different.
That's important.
It's different.
That's important.
It's beautiful. I'm thankful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up, but we only have like a minute or so left.
Okay.
How can people connect with you, find out, get your music, get your poetry? What's coming up next?
Just Google me, okay? You can go on YouTube and listen to my stuff all day long. You'll be so much stuff. You go into the next day and the next day. Thank God. I've been around a while. I've been doing this for like 27 years. So,
wow.
It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so just look at Sister Up, Ursula Rucker, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm always doing something in these virtual weird times. I've been gigging virtually. Support the artist, yo.
Yeah.
Support everybody. Help your fellow human being. Help your fellow artists. Everybody help everybody else. Keep your head up. Wash your hands. Keep your face mask on. Keep your heart and your hands clean. Your heart and your hands clean. Robert, thank you, brother, for doing what you do.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. It's my honor. It really is. I've, like I said, had an opportunity to see you, and it's just, we've got to see more of you. We've got to hear more of you. So
thank you.
Everybody.
Just look me up on my things. I'm going to be doing, my own offerings in this moment. So keep an eye and an ear out.
Okay. Thanks so much, Ursula.
Thank you. Peace and love.
All right now.